Good morning, my loves. How are we? We are joined on frame this morning by Harry Haggis. He's actually on a bit of a warpath to catch. There's a few flies in the van, so let's just let him do him catch flies in the background. So I put a poll up a few days ago asking if you guys would be interested in a tattoo tour, and I'm so glad that you were, because this week is just absolutely bananas for me. I've had my end of year exam for uni. We're potentially closing on our house in like 2 days, and I had a wisdom tooth extracted. So now I have this tooth in a bag. So if I'm like talking weird or slightly lopsided in my face, it's because this happened like less than 24 hours ago. So anyway, I really needed a video that I could make very, very quickly this week so that I don't totally overwhelm myself. So anyway, with all that said, let's have a look at some tattoos. So I actually have like a lot more tattoos than I think anybody realizes, because I kind of accidentally got them all in quite subtle locations. So I feel like I always forget some, but I'm pretty sure I've counted right and I have 14 tattoos. So I'm gonna go in order from like my oldest to my newest, because then that leaves my absolute favorite for last, and I'm so obsessed with my most recent tattoo. I can't wait to show you. So my first tattoo was this little balanced boy, little yin yang on my wrist here, and I actually drew this with Sharpie on my wrist every single day, I think from the age of about like 14 or 15, because I just knew that this was what I wanted as my first tattoo, and lo and behold, got it on my 18th birthday. I actually have a really gory story about this tattoo. I'm not going to tell you just now, but if you're interested in hearing that story, let me know in the comments and I'll share it in next week's video, because it's nasty. So after I turned 18, I got a new tattoo every single week for I think about 2 months, because I was irresponsible and I had a student loan. So one of the first ones that I got was this Charles Darwin Tree of Life. So this is plucked straight from Charles Darwin's notebook when he was first sort of beginning to think about the theory of evolution, and I just absolutely love the way that it says "I think," and then he just drew the tree that people still use today when talking about evolution. So I just think it's such a wonderful reminder that like anybody at any moment can have a thought that changes the world. So then I have 2 memorial tattoos. I've got a Celtic knot butterfly for my darling uncle. A Celtic knot is like a never-ending line, by the way, if you're not familiar with the design. And I have a little Swiss cow. He's called Bastion. Basically, one of my darling friends who passed away, we had this absolutely cherished memory between us when we were like 15 on a school trip in Switzerland, and we were getting our picture taken next to this big plastic cow, and we were like, oh yeah, this is so cool, look at this. And then some angry Swiss guy in an apron comes running out of the shop, like across the road from where the cow was, screaming at us, chasing us away from the cow. So we were like running away, and this guy's like screaming at us in Swiss, like down the street, chasing us away from this cow, and we're like, we don't understand. It was just such a funny memory, and so I thought that that was a really fitting, wonderful little cherished moment to like get tattooed on me to remember my darling friend. So my accent is Scottish. A lot of people think that I'm like American or Kiwi or like all sorts of different things, but I am Scottish, and I'm a big supporter of Scottish independence. And back in the day when everybody was getting like the Yes slogan tattooed on them, I wanted to get something that was less politically obvious and something that just more represented like my favourite thing about my homeland, which is freedom. I also have these Scottish mountains on my arm, which is actually the mountains and lochs that are behind the university that I went to, Stirling University. The first time I went to uni, I did not get a degree from that university. I dropped out after like a year and a half. It was actually a picture that my friend drew, so I think it's just beautiful. And then on my back I have my biggest tattoo, which is a lotus flower. This one has absolutely no significance to anything. I just thought it was cool. One of my friends drew it, put the picture on Instagram, and I was like, alright, put it on my body. And then on my neck, I've got my heartbeats for horses. I mean, I feel like that one is pretty self-explanatory. Hashtag horse girl. So before I show my next one, I just want to put out a little trigger warning. There's nothing graphic or anything at all, and I'm not going into any great detail, but if anybody doesn't want to hear anything about this topic, then skip to this timestamp and you can just miss this whole part out altogether. So I have a semicolon on my shoulder just here, and this tattoo is actually paired with one of my friends from university, which is really special. The Semicolon Project is a mental health charity, and their kind of idea behind the semicolon is that an author uses a semicolon when they could have ended the sentence but they chose not to. So I did actually try to take my life when I was 19. It was after a very, very traumatic childhood, and I went off to uni, and there's a lot of alcohol involved in uni, and things just really spiraled for me. I didn't get the help that I needed. I didn't make the lifestyle choices that I needed to make. Luckily, due to the diligence of one of my friends, my body was able to make a full recovery. It took my mind maybe a few years longer to make a full recovery, but I'm now sitting here 6 years on. I adore my life. I adore my existence. I decided to... Why are you crying? Why are you crying? Go and play. So I made the decision in 2021 to cut the abusive person out of my life completely, and that was the best decision I have ever made. Like, my mental health has literally gone from like strength to strength since then. And yeah, this is your daily reminder that blood is not thicker than water, and that someone's relation to you never justifies abuse. Okay, so shall we lighten the mood again and talk about a tattoo regret, a very silly, funny one. So I have this A.A. Milne quote on my leg, and okay, listen, I don't regret any of my tattoos because they're very representative of like the stage that you were at in your life when you got them, so you should respect that. But if I was to have my time again, I would definitely do this one tattoo differently. It's this quote on my leg, and I think, one, the quote is too long. The way that it spirals around my leg, I don't love it. Two, just the quote itself, I wish I had picked a different quote. I don't think that that quote holds as much meaning to me now as it did like that 1 week that I got it. And I cited Winnie the Pooh as the author. I should have really cited A.A. Milne as the author because I feel like even just that small tweak would have helped it age a bit better. I don't think that it's aged as well as 18-year-old me hoped that it would. I mean, I don't even think when I was 18 picking this tattoo, I don't even think I thought about what it would look like in 10 years' time. That thought just didn't even cross my brain, and it should have done. I also have another little tattoo on my foot. I've got a little cat down there. I love all animals, so I have a lot of animal tattoos. I think it's adorable. So then we have the only stick and poke tattoo that I have on my body, which is this little lines on my ear. I've always wanted to have, like, I'm pretty sure it's called like a cuff ear piercing, but I know myself and I am such a low maintenance person that like I just couldn't deal with any more ear piercings. That I already have 4. That's enough for me. Plus my nose. I have 5. That's enough piercings for me. So my little baby sister stick and poked it for me in like our dad's kitchen last year, I think it was, and I adore this tattoo. It's honestly it's tiny, but it's one of my favorite tattoos. Okay, last one before I show you my absolute favorite tattoo. This is a little lady and she's holding a leaf like a cigarette on the back of my arm. I love this. It was drawn by one of my friends. Just a really beautiful drawing. The only thing I wish is that, like, do you see my mole? I wish that like I'd placed it slightly different so the mole wasn't like obstructing it. I feel like it ruins it a little bit, but it's still pretty. Okay, my favorite fucking I love this tattoo so much. It's so funny to me. Do you remember that Facebook meme years ago? You maybe don't if you're not Scottish, but if you're Scottish, and it was like, would say something and then it would be like, gallop yourself to fuck, you spooky bitch. Do we remember that?
No, get down the stairs.
Jack.
Back off, you spooky bitch. No.
Okay, let me show you what I have on my arm. Gallop yourself to fuck. How good is that? And it's got the little horses just like galloping away, just running away from the problems. I just love it so much. Like, I'm such a horse girl. Like, horses are my special interest. And I just, like, that meme always resonated with me so much. And I was like, yes, I would love to gallop myself to fuck. I'm a spooky bitch and I want to be away from you. You're mean. So every time I like look at that tattoo, I'm just reminded that like you do not need to put up with any bullshit in your life. Bullshit, gallop yourself away from it. I'm trying to think of like another bad thing in the world. Unhealthiness, gallop yourself away from it. Like, I just love this tattoo. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. I will cherish it forever. Obviously, I'm not paying for tattoo removal. That's expensive. Anyway, so that is all my 14 tattoos. I actually have a few more planned. So if you see a few new ones like popping up on my body over the next few months, I'll tell you about them as they happen. But yeah, I'm very excited. I love tattoos. If anybody wants to hear that story about the yin yang on my wrist, then comment below and I will share that, but it would be too long for this video. And yeah, you guys share with me, like, what tattoos do you have? What tattoos do you want? Like, what ones of mine do you love? What ones do you hate? Like, everyone's tattoos are so unique to them. So yeah, anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this video. I'll chat to you in the comments. I love you. I'll see you next week. Bye.